You curious what's going on with real estate prices? Well, check this video out. So, real estate prices here in the Inland Empire, Riverside City, Moreno Valley, as well as Redlands, are kind of plateauing a little bit. We're not going down, but things are not going up anymore. In the city of Riverside, the previous month of May to June, $675,000 median price point across the board. Now, from back in 2019, the median price point was $405,000 in January of 2019, and now $675,000. So if you purchased back in 2019 or 2020 or 2021, you have an exceptional amount of equity. Now, for buyers, that's nothing to be afraid of or scared of. Corona, California went up a little bit, about 7.7%. Redlands is here in the green. Redlands went up a little bit, says 1.6, but it's actually showing it went down on this graph from 665,000 to $625,000. And Moreno Valley is the one that continues to flourish and blossom. And the reason being is because at that starter price point of $563,000. So back in January of this year, price point median Moreno Valley 525, and now we're at about $563,000. So homes are continuing to appreciate in that price point, that lower price point. Now for Riverside, for instance, we hit our all-time high back in April, but now we're starting to plateau out a little bit. Now we'll kind of see what happens with the interest rates actually decreasing for the first time yesterday, showing some bounce back, and actually kind of having that CPI inflation data report be very optimistic and in the favor, as well as the election coming up. We'll start to see what types of things happen with those prices, and as well as mortgage rates starting to go down too. So supply and demand, we still have a lot of demand. Supply is starting to go up a little bit, but let's show you that real quick. Days on market, if you're curious about the days on market, Riverside City, things are going in 12 days. Corona, 12 days. Redlands, 9 days. Moreno Valley, 11 days. So things are flying fairly quickly still. If we go all the way back to 2019 to what a regular market would look like, Riverside City, things sat for about 41 days. Corona sat for about 33 days. Redlands, 29 and 28. So we're about a third, a little bit more than a third of what we were back in 2019. About 2/3 more or less, you could say, from the days on market. Now, the reason being is because we have a lot of demand from the Orange County area, from the coastal areas. When I do open houses, I notice a lot of people are congregating from those Orange County, San Diego, LA areas, just because they can't afford it out there as much anymore, and coming to where Riverside is affordable now. Now, that we'll get into our last thing, and that is just the amount of new listings that we're seeing. And this will kind of make sense and correlate with what the prices are doing right now. So Riverside City, we're only getting about 246 new listings this last month. We started to see from January things go up, not significantly, but a little bit. But we're starting to see inventory increase a little by little. This last month, I feel like it slowed down a little bit, but the spring months really were popping off in terms of inventory. Now, that is why the prices still continue to appreciate. There's just not a lot of inventory. Kind of comes to supply and demand at the end of the day. Low supply, high demand. So it's really tough for a lot of people to it's really what it's showing is that's what's happening, is the appreciation still going up based off the supply and the demand. Redlands, not a lot. Redlands is a small, tiny town. It's about, don't quote me on this, I don't know, way less in the population than Riverside. Corona, only 161 new listings, so a little bit less, or more than less than half of the city of Riverside. And then Moreno Valley, only 111 new listings in the month of June, so not really a lot to choose from. So here is where we are getting at right now. Sellers, it's still a fantastic time to sell your home while your equity is still doing its thing. But right now, we don't really know where the market's going. Now, for buyers, it's still a fantastic time. Obviously, you can see if you bought back in 2019, you already have, not 2019, but if you bought back in January of 2024, you already have appreciation. You already have equity. So your house is doing the work for you. Now, on the other side of things, it's also fantastic because we are expected for interest rates to come down. Now, also for sellers, if you're thinking about selling a house before too many people start thinking about selling the house while the inventory increases, if we start to see inventory increase, if we start to see that selection broaden for buyers, what happens is things start to sit a little bit and you start to see price reductions. Now, we saw that a little bit when the inventory was increasing, but I'm not really seeing that anymore. So If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. Christian Gorilla Realtor, you're a local Riverside Realtor, you're a Inland Empire Realtor, Southern California, everything real estate, buying, selling, investing. We'll see you next month for a monthly market update. Take care and have a great weekend.